Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to today's presentation class, my dear students of class 11 Government Haji Muhammad Mohsin College. This is Muhammad Hilaluddin, Assistant Professor English, Government Haji Muhammad Mohsin College, going to present today's online class. Our today's topic is drawn from Unit 5, Art and Music, and today's lesson is from the first lesson of Unit 5, entitled What is Beauty? Okay, my dear student, after the completion of the class, you will be able to enrich your vocabulary and you will be able to sum up the passage. That means you will be able to make the summary of the passage you are going to read or go through. So our today's passage is about an abstract concept, beauty. So, beauty is easy to appreciate but difficult to define. So, dear student, as we have gone through the first sentence, we have noticed that there are three words which have been underlined. And in the same fashion, there are some more words which are underlined in the following sentences. So, my dear students, we will be in a better position if we first go through the meaning of these underlined words, and then if we go through the passage, then we will have a greater understanding of the passage. So let us go through the meaning of the words, underlined words. First one, beauty. It's a very common word. We are familiar with this word. Beauty means prettiness, comeliness, attractiveness. Next, appreciate. Appreciate means cherish, distinguish, acknowledge, value, admire, regard, etc. The third one is define. The word define has the meaning of outline, delineate, trace, determine, describe, characterize, classify, specify, tell, indicate. The next words to be noticed is identify. Identity. Identity means uniqueness, distinction, individuality, singularity, perception, appreciation, comprehension, perceptivity, understanding. The next word to notice is beholder. Beholder means observer, onlooker, viewer, etc. And then we have word like manifest, which has the meaning of display, demonstrate, show, expose, reveal, project. Then we have the past participle form repulsed, which means repelled, disgusted, sickened, nauseated, rebuffed. Then we have got the word ugliness, which is opposite of the word beauty. So ugliness means foulness, nastiness, vileness. We have the word confine, which means limit, restrict, restrain, etc. The last word here to notice is projection. Projection means manifestation, show, display, demonstration. My dear students, we have here come across words which we have known, but sometimes it becomes difficult for us to give their meaning in English. So after reading or after going through these word meanings, we'll be able to have enriched our vocabulary, and which will be beneficial for our better result in the exam when we are faced with MCQ question, or when we are faced with synonym, antonym. So, my dear students, now we will move to the passage again. Beauty is easy to appreciate. So we can admire readily, easily, quickly beauty. But beauty is difficult to define. But we cannot specify, clarify the meaning of beauty as easily as we can appreciate it. As we look around, we discover beauty in pleasurable objects and sights, in nature, in the laughter of children, in the kindness of strangers. So there are some phenomena, some events, incidents, happenings that manifest beauty. But who asked to define, when we are asked to define, when someone asks us to define beauty, to specify, to clarify, to illustrate beauty, we run into difficulties. We face problem. We face difficulty. Does beauty have an independent objective identity? Objective means here neutral. So, does beauty have identity? Means uniqueness, which is invariably objective. Is it universal, or is it dependent on our sense perceptions? Perceptions means our perceptivity. Does it lie in the eye of the beholder? Beholder means viewer, onlooker. So, there are a series of questions which make it clear that it is not easy to define beauty. We ask ourselves these questions. A further difficulty arises. We face one more difficulty when beauty manifests, means shows itself, reveals itself, reflects itself, mirrors itself, not only by its presence, but by its absence as well. As when we are repulsed. Repulsed means irritated. Repulsed means rebuffed. Vexed by ugliness, and when we desire and beauty. But then, that means ugliness, which is dirtiness, vileness, has as much a place in our lives as beauty, or maybe more, as when there is widespread hunger and injustice in a society. If you look at our society as a whole, we will feel the presence of ugliness more strongly than the presence of beauty, because there is widespread hunger and injustice in existing in our society. Philosophers have told us that beauty is an important part of life. But isn't ugliness a part of life too? That means if we accept beauty, we must at the same time accept ugliness. Otherwise, our perception of life will be incomplete, partial. And if art has beauty as an important ingredient, means element, constituent, part, can it confine means limit, restrict itself only to a projection of beauty? Projection means here manifestation, illustration of beauty. Can art ignore means here overlook? Can art avoid what is not beautiful? That means, can art avoid ugliness? This type of question is called a rhetorical question, which does not require any answer. The readers, the learners can easily grasp the meaning, because this question actually are self-explanatory. They themselves give the answer. So we get the answer that art can't ignore ugliness. Okay, my dear students, we will move to the second passage, second part of the lesson. Poets and artists have provided an answer by incorporating both into their work. Both means here beauty and ugliness. So, my dear student, again we are watching that there are 5 more words which are underlined. So, we will be in a better position to look into their meaning. Incorporate. Incorporate means mix, mingle, merge, blend, absorb. Then the second, we have a few more alternatives: assimilate, integrate, and combine. The second word we have got tied, which means connected, linked, associated. So we have the third one, assumes, which means takes, bears. The next one is proportion, means ratio. Pleasant. The word pleasant means adorable, lovely, agreeable, delightful, enjoyable, comfortable, etc. And the last word to go is context, which means circumstances, conditions, situations, etc. So after making ourselves familiar with the meanings of the words, now we will go through the second portion of the lesson. Poets and artists have provided an answer by incorporating both into their work. So we have already told you, both means beauty and ugliness, both beauty and ugliness. In doing so, they have often tied. Tied means related, linked beauty to truth and justice. So that what is not beautiful assumes means takes, a tolerable means acceptable, proportion means ratio, quantity, amount, measure as something that represents some truth about life. John Keats, the romantic poet, English romantic poet, wrote in his celebrated poem, Ode on a Grecian Hour, beauty is truth, truth beauty, by which he means that truth, even if it is not pleasant, becomes beautiful at a higher level. So, beauty and truth are identical. Another meaning, similarly, what is beautiful forever remains true. Another meaning in the context of the Grecian urn, the poem, an art object is that truth is a condition, state of art. Okay, my dear student, we have completed our reading of the passage. Now, and we have become familiar with a considerable number of words. Some of them are new, and some of them we have just have our better grasp and understanding by going through their meanings. Now, we will just make a summary of this. So, before making the summary, we will just have some points to ponder. While making summary, we will do the following things. What we will do and what we will not do. First, we will not copy from the text, from the given passage. That means we will write in our own English, in our own word. So the answering to question, to the question summary related question, we need to produce, we need to show creativity, originality, ingenuity. And we will discard illustration, comparisons and figures of speech. In our writing, we find references, anecdotes, illustrations, similes, metaphors, symbols, some concrete examples, some abstract examples. To make our point clear, we use this type of things. But while writing summary, we will avoid them. We will remove them from our writing. Then we will take a holistic approach. That means we have to consider the total passage as a whole while we write our summary, so that the summary contains the total concept of the passage in a short number of words, in a fewer number of words. And in writing summary, we will practice brevity, which means pithiness, conciseness, compactness in our expression or in our writing. So, of course, the length of the summary will preferably be 1/4 or 1/3 of the total passage. But this is not just a gospel truth that you have to restrict the number of words to 1/3 or to 1/4. Your passage will instruct you how much you will write as summary. So now let us look at the summary. We readily admire beauty but can hardly define it. That means we can admire beauty but we cannot define it. We cannot define it easily. We find beauty in beautiful objects and sights. We long for beauty. That means we have fascination for beauty. But both beauty and ugliness have their place in our lives and in our art. Artists have associated beauty with truth and justice. So, my dear students, if you look at the word, the diction of the summary, then you will find that we have substituted readily with easily, appreciate with admire. So delightful means pleasant, long for means desire. So we find that, and associated means linked. That means we have used the alternative words to make the summary as our own, as the new construction of words. So this summary, we can claim that have the originality or ingenuity, because it has kept the concept of beauty and ugliness, because that is the theme. The perception of beauty and ugliness, the relationship of beauty, the relationship between beauty and truth and justice. So we have kept it, but we have used alternative words so that we can modify, reshuffle the sentences in this summary. So, my dear students, our learning outcome for today's class is 2. Number 1, enriching vocabulary. Number 2, handling summary. So we have got our 2 lessons here. We have enriched ourselves with the meanings of a number of words, and we have learned something about how to make summary or about summary making. So I hope you have benefited from this class. So my dear student, thank you for watching this online presentation. Stay home, stay safe. Allah Hafiz.